And that is exactly what's happening. So let's go in and introduce to the bottom right, 12 pooling, Liquid's Vortix. And to the upper left, the red Zerg player is going to be SortOf here in the losers bracket semi-finals. Well, my shirt's incredibly smelly after I got them out of the packaging. Sort of in a way, like not really like a bad smell, just sort of a like these have just been printed sort of smell. I don't think it was a bad smell. I'm always quite I know what you mean. They had quite a scent to them, but it wasn't really a bad smell, I don't think. So yeah. So we're just waiting to see how this game's going to go. Sorry, I'm keeping an eye because I want to try and run ads in a second. But obviously with a 3-minute delay, about to run 2 minutes with only a 2-minute break, there's some time where I'm casting and the break hasn't still started on the stream. So I'm watching for that to try and throw that into a break there very quickly in so we can jump into this game and start talking about probably. I mean, we've already got links coming across the map, but sort of actually opened once again very safely. Pool hatch gas, and that means he's very well set up to just sort of defend over here. So this early 12 pool, well, let's see what it does. As Vortix comes in and start working his way against the hatchery, lots of damage being done to it already. More lings coming across, and of course, well, maybe sort of has to pull some drones down here to help deal with this. As we're going to see, there's a couple of lings coming in, and well, let's see how this is going to go. Drones being pulled down, and of course, nice for Vortix to fight drones outside of a mineral line as well, because then he can't be surrounded as easily. And there's more lings of his coming in. And he's sort of more than anything just trying to buy time for more lings, for a queen to come down. He's actually going into a roach run of his own very quickly as we see Vortix just pulling back, going to try and re-engage. He's actually going to get himself a queen perhaps. It's going to get out of position. I think it is just going to be surrounded by drones and lings, so queen should stay alive here actually. And these drones actually taking some damage. Queen's going to drop in a second. Nice control by SortOf, pulls it back at the last moment. Lings will make sure to get that though. And it's 150 minerals you don't want to miss out on killing if you've got the opportunity to. And SortOf actually down to 12 workers against 18. Vortix looking very good against this as these roaches going to kick off a couple of these Zerglings. So a few Zerglings going down. A few Zerglings going down. You're going to see the roaches coming over towards the bottom right hand side of the map. So some roaches coming in towards the bottom right from SortOf and looking to do some counter aggression here. We'll force something out of Vortix, but he's playing kind of this gasless style again where he's just going to commit to a couple of spines. We saw this earlier from him. I mean, whatever ZVZ it was, maybe Minimath. Very similar sort of scenario where he kills off that he killed the hatchery, I think. And then he just gets into a very good position and commits to the spine crawls to make sure he stays very safe while going into this gasless play into his roaches and so on as well. Although maybe it wasn't prior, it was prior on terraces, it wasn't this map, it was prior on terraces against Minimath, where he actually killed the natural and then got very far ahead and then lost to the double expand or so. So, kind of interesting. As we're going to see the couple of spines just sat here on the natural, going to see some lings running up the right hand side and looking to see what they can get up to. As for now, this game's going to kind of stabilize a little bit, and both players will take some time to breathe as we have 28 to 26 drones, and yeah, both of these guys are going to just stop for a few moments and just take a little moment or two to breathe and catch up a little bit and see what's going on. You'll see Vortix actually finds this hatchery being built here, and it's very low in health obviously because it just started, but isn't quite able to force a cancel there, so I think it's just going to move away. And we're going to see these lings just going to be just moving around and just seeing what he can get up to. So a couple of roaches just going to get a little bit of damage done here, a little bit of damage done there. Third hatch coming in from Vortix as well as for SortOf. So both players going into third hatcheries. Layers starting up from both players. Evo Chamber starts for SortOf as well. So Evo Chamber on the way for SortOf over here. As Vortix just going to be moving around with these few Zerglings. So Vortix is moving around with these lings, looking to see what he can get up to, looking to see what might happen. As the roaches, of course, from SortOf as well, just moving around. And very similar sort of game right here. The difference being that there's a +1 upgrade on the way for Vortix. And he's got a couple of spines to help him defend from any kind of attack as well, so that's really nice. will help him out a lot, as we see SortOf going into that lair himself. Does have an Evo Chamber, does start +1, just slightly later in the game. Sling's continuing to move around here. You're going to see a few roaches coming out, and they're going to be working their way against a couple of these Zerglings at the front. So a couple of these Zerglings taking a little bit of damage. We're going to see more Overlords again just moving through the map. And yeah, roach speed starts from both players as well, and we do just see kind of a Spinecrawler burrowing over on the third base. So Spinecrawler going to burrow on the third. I'm going to see a few roaches just out here. And yeah, just a few roaches out, and just going to see these couple of drones just transferring over and looking to see what's going on. So, yeah, basically, everyone's just kind of set up standard and even. Not really much to say. Frozen Temple, one of these maps where kind of aggressive roach timings can be very effective because you can hit it through the map so quickly. We've actually seen a lot of kind of roach ravager timings today on this map, and kind of just +1 kind of mass roaches kind of attacks, especially from Vortix, who just stops droning and just continues to kind of build roaches and hits with +1 speed, and just kind of is ahead on an army just because of the fact his opponent's starting up +2, is starting up, you know, other things. As we see this overseer just over to the left a little bit. Sort of 9 workers ahead now, and that's the thing again. He'll just add on another couple of workers and more here and there, and that's where Vortix starts taking advantage. And well, this overseer has seen the third base, and I mean, he should have seen he should have had a pretty good scout of how many drones there are here, aka there isn't many, and that's got to be somewhat worrying for you when you go up against this, because see Vortix attacking forward. He's got +1 right now, 10-second advantage on this +1. Can he do something with it as he comes in? He's just going to dive straight into these roaches, which were sat on top of this ramp, ready to go. And it looks as though right now, well, Vortix is taking a little bit of a better fight. Roach numbers look somewhat even. The +1 about to finish up for SortOf, so now this fight becomes a lot more even in upgrades. But Vortix seems to have an alright sort of army here to keep on pushing forwards. Queen going to go down, these roaches keep going to drop as, okay, I mean, SortOf is going to be reinforcing a lot faster, but still, it's not a long rush distance here on this map. And Vortix, if he's already just got a little bit too much, maybe he can keep on going with this as he's pushing on in here. Some Overlords coming overhead to kind of make it difficult for Vortix to judge how much is there, and maybe make him make some bad decisions in the fight. There's more reinforcements coming for Vortix too. Obviously, as the roaches come in from SortOf, that's nice, but they're also all split up around the place, and so they are kind of coming in from multiple locations. But he will push this back, and Vortix, well, he trades, and he stops SortOf from starting up his +2 just yet. He goes into his own drones now. He has 11 workers down, and he's going to have to do a, he's going to have to try and do this, he's going to have to try and make this work, right? You know, he's got to try and drone up a little bit and recover. He's actually going to see SortOf going for a bit of a Mutalisk transition. Spire on the way. Roaches come back in, though, from Vortix. And that 200 minerals, 200 gas he just spent on Mutalisk, well, is he going to regret that? Because right now, these roaches are doing damage, and it looks as though SortOf will still have enough to defend. More roaches just coming on in here from both players, but of course, again, the reinforcements distance is shorter for SortOf, so you can just back away a little bit, and as SortOf gets in towards the bin on the line, he'll just be kind of turned away once again as he comes back, fights these roaches once more. Doesn't get a queen killed just yet, which is what it looked as though he might be looking for as it went in towards the third base. Looked as though he might try and dive on that queen there. Decided not to, though, as the roach is going to pull back for Vortix. So these roaches are going to be pulling back and just going to be setting over here on the kind of between these bases, just sitting defending. And again, Vortix has these Spinecrawlers, or he has one Spinecrawler left over. Does he have a second one still? On the third base. He's got these spines which will help him defend any kind of counterattacks of his opponent. But again, it's SortOf who is going up into the Spire, and that Spire can be very, very powerful. And the Muters can do a lot of damage as well, especially if Vortix is not ready for it, not expecting it. I love this though. Big approach counterattack through the right hand side. And especially if he sort of hits like he's gonna be seen by these this Overlord. No, he's gonna turn around. Looks though kind of sort of may have just glimpsed that there though and might have a bit of an idea. Maybe he saw the roaches with this. Either way, he seems to know that this is he has the Muters coming out, and well, Vortix has no real option other than to try and commit into this now because he's not gonna get away from Mutalisks. So he tries to fight, but he's heavily outnumbered, I feel. And I just feel as though he's just going to lose this completely. A couple of corrosive bars force him to keep setting forwards. Maybe a lot closer than I thought it was going to be on the ground in the roach counts. But in the end, again, reinforcements and these Muters in the sky are undeniable right now for Vortix. And there it is. GG. SortOf takes game number 1 of this best of 3. Let's go and introduce us some players. Very weird, strange, different map. A lot of different things happen here on Prime Terraces and the ZVZ. It's very difficult to get right. As to the top left-hand side, we'll see the yellow Zerg player from Team Liquid. It is Vortix. Down to the bottom right-hand side, the red Zerg player from no team currently. From Sweden, though. He is SortOf. He's in the red. To the bottom right. And no early pools. Do we see gas pool from anyone? Or do we just see both of them going straight into that hatchery first here on that gold base? It is going to be gas pool from SortOf. So playing this safe. He's done this multiple times on Prime Houses. But will be slight build order advantage to Vortix, who takes the hatchery first. He'll go gas pool himself and should have more than enough of the Zerglings to realistically defend anything that comes in from his opponent in the near future here. So as both players do have a hatchery, about a start coming down, there we go. Both players have a hatchery on the way. We just see, again, pretty standard slow opening to the CVZ. And we've sort of talked about this a lot already today, but I guess we can do it once again. It's the double gold bases. And the double gold bases allow you to kind of just mass up so many units that we generally see it being done off of no tech, no upgrades or anything. And it can create for very, very, very weird ZVZs here on this map. Confusing bracket? No, Bly's qualified because he won the winners bracket. Like if you go into the grand final, there's 2 qualifying spots, right? And if there's 2 qualifying spots, that means whoever's in the grand final is qualified, which means that Bly's qualified because he's in the grand final. So he doesn't have to play against whoever comes out of the losers bracket. Because there's no seed nor anything achieved by that. As you do see, BNS is on the way down for SortOf. And these Zerglings coming across the map. SortOf just going to be nibbling away a couple of those. And you see Vortix just pulling back a little bit and, well, may lose a spine core at the front, but he's trying to get up. Actually, no cancel on that. Gets killed, so it's 100 minerals and a drone down the drain. But again, I mean, nothing too major going on. Actually, SortOf is making 10 more links. He's really going to sort of commit to trying to get damage done here. Does he have a Bane nest? Yes, he does. So he's really going to commit to this. Single Zergling for Vortix sees this, though. He actually sees them Zerglings coming out of his opponent, too. So he knows this is aggression. Not completely committed, though. I mean, just a few links to kind of force a bit out of Vortix. He's already starting up a few more drones behind this as well. So, as we see these links coming across the map, SortOf just going to be morphing in a few banelings. I'm going to see the base coming up on the high ground as well. A few Zerglings here nearby too. And I'm going to see a couple more banes coming in. And Queen's coming towards the front. As the banelings are obviously going to be looking to crash on in. And I think Vortix has more than enough to defend here. But of course he's fallen a little bit behind in the work account. So very kind of standard classic back and forth ZVZ Ling Bane game. Where one player kind of makes the units, then the other drone, and then then drones, then the other player makes the units to defend, then drones, and then counterattacks and forces units, and then drones, and so on and so on. As we see the third hatchery coming down from Vortix, so both players now going into the second gold base at this point. So second gold base on the way up from both, sort of setting up into this as these banes coming down from SortOf. So a few extra banes coming in. Ling is just going to be splitting a little bit for our red Zerg player. There's a couple of banes coming in from Vortix. It's 2 at a time. We're going to trade here 2 for 3 would be nice. And that is what he gets to begin with. And maybe once again, as we'll see, these banes going up the ramp. Ooh, I don't know what that was, but it was a lot of banelings exploding. That's all I can really say. I'm not really sure how many that was or what. I was going to see this hatchery going to be surrounded. The banelings will force that to be cancelled because the banelings will kind of stop any of these Zerglings from running up here fast enough to defend. So good cancel by Vortix. We're going to see, looks though SortOf going to be retaking that hatchery once again. We're going over to the right hand side. Stream freezing. Guys, yeah, again, today, sorry, we do have a little bit of an issue with the stream. And we have got a little bit of lag every now and then, so it does freeze. Hopefully it's not too much of an issue. Hopefully it is only just happening very rarely. It's on my end. It's not on your end, guys. It's on my end. And I understand it's a little bit frustrating, but it's I don't know how to fix it without completely resetting the stream. I don't know if that would fix it, so it's not. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like maybe a stream reset fixes it, but maybe it doesn't, and then reset the stream for no reason. You know, so don't want to do that basically. As you're gonna see, the Ling is just coming down the right hand side. Lots of roaches out for both players now as well. As sort of being a bit aggressive. This counter attack very nice by Vortix. He's actually going to catch his opponent with kind of less Zerglings here. It's a very good trade for him to begin with, as he's also got more than enough to defend over here. I'm just going to see the roaches coming back through the center. Nice run by actually all the way into the main base. Going to get some drones, and Vortix really getting damage done. And really getting some good damage done, and also pushing across through the center of the map as well. These roaches for sort of going to be able to turn the Zerglings away, though, at least. As we'll see these feelings just coming over to the right hand side a little bit. Roaches too getting ready to come in towards the third base. Does Vortix have enough to just break him here? I mean, we look at the unit tab, 13 to 11 roaches. He's got Ravager coming in, more Banelings. It's the Zerglings that make the difference for Vortix, so it's all about these Baneling connections and how well SortOf can defend the Banelings. We're going to see a few defend the Zerglings and how well he can use his Banelings. Here we go, the Zerglings going to start streaming in. Actually, them roaches are going to connect on, well, everything. The Banelings connected on them roaches, and that's really, really nice as Vortix just keeps on moving through, and I think he might have enough here. SortOf has to GG out, and probably our final map of the EU qualifier, down to the bottom left-hand side from Team Liquid. It's our yellow Zerg player. Let's hear it if you're cheering on Vortix. And up to the top right, it's going to be our red Zerg player. Let's hear it if you're cheering on SortOf. So, as we enter this ZVZ, always interested to see in what sort of direction things are going to go. Even on Dusk Towers, it's one of these maps where sometimes people will just 13-12 because they know their opponents might try and play a bit greedy. Sometimes people will try and play a little bit kind of super greedy, you know, with like, you know, with a whole bunch of, say, for example, kind of free hatch before pool and stuff like that, What's up, everyone from Base Trade? Thank you very much for the host. Whew, 3K. You guys had a good stream. Thank you very much for the host, guys. Welcome. This is, I think, actually just probably just our last map of the day here, guys. But thank you for joining us for a few minutes, as we are going to see that mega greed out of Vortix. So this is going to be very interesting. The free hatch before pool here. Let's see how that plays out. Again, hello everyone joining us from Base Trade and raiding us in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And hope you guys enjoy the last game of SortOf Vortix. After this, the DreamHack stream will be taking over the EU qualifier. I'm not sure if Base Trade are doing the Latin American qualifier. I'm sure Base Trade will host up DreamHack as well when we're done here. So hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us as we set up into this third game. So free hatch before pool, let's talk a bit about this and what this means in this CVZ. It's obviously a very risky opening, but it allows you to just get set up so quickly into so much production, so much potential to just spam Zerglings, be super aggressive in the very early stages of the game. And that can be very, very, very kind of powerful if your opponent doesn't see what's going on. And especially on this map as well. I love it on this map, and I'll tell you why. Because when the Overlord comes and scouts here, all SortOf really sees is a hatchery first. You know, he doesn't see free hatch before pool. In fact, it's the exact same as himself. So, unless he gets Zerglings into his opponent's main base, SortOf does not know that this is free hatch before pool. And so he doesn't know how to respond. You know, he doesn't know to respond to this and so on at all. You know, he doesn't know to do that. So, that's something here which SortOf does have to be a little bit cautious of. And maybe has it in his mind as well. I mean, this is something which is not, you know, it's not never been seen before nowadays. It's been done before. As these Lings are going to start coming in, looks as though they will get that scout in towards the main. And we'll see just even by the gas time and how much is mined there potentially. Or just by coming down and seeing that third hatch already finished. So Vortix, his plan has been not necessarily foiled, but it's been figured out. And we're going to see, he's kept Lings from SortOf just backing away now, back to his own side of the map. Lair on the way up from SortOf. So Lair coming in over here and just going to be looking maybe for some very fast middle lists. He's up on 3 gases already. Probably see the 4th gas drop as the Spire comes down. Unless he's going to suddenly surprise us and drop down a Evo Chamber and more. A couple of Banelings morphing in. As we see, Vortix actually just starting to make a bunch of lings as his Zergling speed gets ready to go. He isn't being too aggressive because he's building a spine crawler, so he's obviously not got an idea of being super aggressive and, you know, completely committing to his opponent's side of the map at all, because otherwise he wouldn't be building a spine. He's just looking to make enough lings to defend with while still droning behind. The lair now finishing for SortOf, and with no roach on, no evo up, he's just a little bit gas shy of that 200 mark to really put down that spire and get into the Mutalisk play here in game number 3 of this best of 3 series. Spire on the way down then. On the way up. And there's a whole bunch of Zerglings coming in over from Vortix. So, he will try and just pressure here a little bit, but I mean, defensive bane some SortOf, and for Vortix, even if he just gets one Zergling through into the main to see the Spire, see the lair, and confirm that, that'd be very good information for him, and he does lead the charge with a couple of lings, but they get taken down. He's going to try and get through again, and just keep trying to trade. He gets one through, but it's denied every single time. That Spinecrawler, the real MVP, 5 kills on it, completely denying any scouting information into the main, and that is huge. And I mean, from Vortix's point of view, I mean, for him, who's going into, well, he had a Rotron build, and now it is. This doesn't look any different right now to him from his own front door, you know? Queens here, some defensive banes, a spine. So it's very difficult for him to right now tell exactly what he wants to, you know, what exactly he wants to go into from here. Spire, going to be finishing up in a moment from SortOf. And we're going to see this Overseer just moving around and just scouting out, and sort of just going to be into the natural as well. So he's going to find out, you know, pretty much what his opponent's up to. Evo Chamber for Vortix, really looking as though he will completely commit to this roach-based play. As again, the third hatch, very late for SortOf in comparison to Vortix. Work accounts have been somewhat even. Obviously, SortOf has been mining a lot more gas than Vortix has for some time here because he's been rushing in towards the Mutalisks, which are very gas-dependent in comparison to Roaches, which do need a fair few minerals for as well, aren't as gas-heavy until you start morphing in the Ravagers. We're going to see these Lingers trying to run by again, just trying to see some more information, trying to pick up anything else they might be able to find. Sees no Roach Roaring, sees no Roaches, but also, well, okay, now he knows anyways, because the Muters are on top of this Overseer. So the Overseer going to start being taken down, and as that Overseer falls, we'll see Muters continue to come down towards the lower left side of the map, and, well, a few Overlords already going to be under attack. A couple of more of them are going to be pulling back and trying to get to the natural in time to defend. Spores on the way up, 8 of them. So obviously Vortix does not want to take damage from these Muters at all, really wants to minimize his damage. Loving that decision. Gets the Overlord that's further, that's closer to the base, closer to safety, before going for the one behind. So sort of just making sure he gets the damage done here. As we see, Vortix's option to go into this, his kind of decision now is to actually go in towards a infestation pit rather than a Hydralisk den. So going to be going for the infested to try and deal with these. There's a Hydra den as well. It's going to be going for both, or maybe just going to be looking for a couple of Vipers just to help out against that Mutalisk count as time goes by. Very good spore placement here for Vortix, helping to deflect those Muters and really just minimize the damage to being kind of, very simply, just a couple of Overlords so far. As these Muters just thinking of coming in towards the third base, looking to see what can happen. A couple of spores over here as well, just to try and help the natural. And again, I mean, Vortix literally has spores everywhere. There's no way in for these Muters without taking a lot of damage, without really committing to this. As we're going to see a few of them just pulling back a little bit, joined together. Fourth base on the way now for SortOf as well. Creep spread, just pushing through towards the center of the map. And of course, I mean, with the Muters, you have the map control. You should be the player to take the fourth base first. And of course, going to be some Lings on the way up and melee upgrades. And what we're probably going to see out of SortOf as time goes by is he's probably going to look to try and tech in towards the Hive tech, try and hit that Ultra Cavern, and basically just go for Ultras as his late game setup here. Now, Vortix, he'll probably be trying to build up to deflect these Muters, fight these Muters, and when he gets to that stage, it should be just about before Ultras are coming down. It's a very tight timing, and Vortix will be mostly trying to hit before the Ultras kick in. As it has just been infested and Pathogen Glance, has not gone into the Hive for the Vipers, as I thought might be the scenario here. So that's not going to be the case. And we're just going to see some Hydras being added on, and, well, Vortix, sooner or later, will get ready to go across this map, whether he waits for +2 to finish, or what exactly he's waiting for. Maybe he waits to max out. We will see. I'm not sure how good Vortix's scan is right now. Probably pretty minimal because he's, of course, had his Overlords taken down. So he's not really seen anything. So he doesn't know exactly when that Hive finishes. He doesn't know exactly how much time he's got before Ultras. So that's something he does have to keep in mind and does have to stay, be very mindful of, be very careful about. As we're going to see these Muters just going to take down these rocks. Sort of going to knock those down, block off this high ground. And you'll see a few Hydras. Oh, going to catch the Mutas in a fungal, and sort of, just for a split second there, does not pay attention to his Mutas, leaves them hanging, and does get the back end of them caught in a fungal growth. 5 or 6 of them falling. Lots of spines up to defend us. Here we go. This is the push across the map we're talking about. Looking to hit, well, you know, sort of is still trying to head in towards his sort of stage of the game where he's trying to get in towards his Ultralisks. Here we go. Banelin's coming in. Obviously, the fungal growth is going to be important here. Fungal's actually landed on a nice clump of them. Banelin's to the left-hand side of the Mutas as well. Some of the Banelin's connecting, though. Hydra's trying to pull back, and actually looks as though SortOf takes a very good fight here. He's going to have more than enough Mutas to just keep on running in, and SortOf, with lots of money in the bank, going to just make 10 more Mutas after killing off so much here already. Vortix, this attack has not worked out for him at all. This has been a complete disaster, even, you could say, as one fungal growth comes in, but there's not enough left to kind of pick off the Mutas in that fungal growth. The fungal growth to the top side group of Balins was really important, but he didn't finish them off. They still connected with the army, and so many of them Hydras just disappeared so quickly after that. And SortOf, well, that is his advantage now to play with. 50 supply up, and all of a sudden this game is not necessarily decided, but it really looks to be going that way. Ultra Cavern on the way, sort of getting ready for that transition, as we've mentioned multiple times now. And we do see the Muta count just looking around to... At this point, I mean, what, 24 Mutalisks in this clump, actually? And more, 27. That's enough to realistically come in and kill these Spore Crawlers now. They two-shot these Spores, and he's going to take down an Extractor. And this is the point in the game where things just get so difficult for Vortix to deal with these Mutas. And, okay, he kills off one, but he lost, what? A Spore, a Rotoron, and an Extractor to kill one Mutalisk. You know, at this point, SortOf doesn't really care that much. One Mutalisk is not a lot compared to how many there is. And Vortix in a very tough position here. Of course, winning this will send the SortOf into a match against Nurtio down here in the losers bracket. As we see these Mutas continuing to fly around for SortOf, continuing to look to see where he can go, what he can get up to. As these Infestors, these Hydras, just going to be moving forwards, and we're going to see that base coming down here to the right-hand side on that 4th base. Going to be popping that down in the next couple of moments. 6 Ultras on the way up from SortOf, as you see at the same time, though. Extractor going down, and just damage being done all over the place. There's that Spore going to fall, and these Mutas just coming in and trying to clean up a couple more of them Hydras. But again, with this sort of Mutalisk count, you just can't really clean them up very easily. I mean, okay, there's a lot of Hydras, a lot of Infestors, but now what do you do against these Ultralisks? They're going to have, what, how much armor? Well, they've only got +1 carapace, but if Chitinous playing, that's still, what, like 5 armor total? It's a lot of armor to work with on these Ultras. And so, you know, how does kind of Hydras fight against these Ultras? They just don't. The Infestors, they're going to have to probably use Infested Terrans to try and tank a little bit, maybe mess up the AI of the Ultralisks. I mean, that's the way in which Vortix has got to try and take a fight now. He is actually back in this. He's actually managed to max out, which is something, but he's still on this kind of mid-tier tech army, whereas the Ultras is the late-game tech coming in from SortOf, and of course SortOf going to be looking to pick off a few reinforcing Roaches, as here we go, the Fungal's coming in, stopping them Balins again, very important to stop them, but the Ultras are connecting, and these Hydras are starting to disappear. The Muta's coming in as well. The Roaches and Hydras are doing an okay job on the ground. 3 Ultras remaining, but is it enough for Vortix? I just don't think so, as we see him maybe cleaning out the Ultras, but then the Mutas are going to clean up the rest of it, and that will be GG right there, and that is SortOf 2-1-ing Vortix.